I'm going to show you how to map waterways. So when we're mapping waterways, we are looking for this type of mapping. Down here we have these three little squiggly lines. This is a symbol for waterways. So I found a task that has this waterway symbol, and I'm going to click contribute, or for this case, resume mapping. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look around for waterways. We can see that there's a big river right here. The thing to look for when looking for waterways is a lot of bending. So they probably wouldn't have constructed a road to be this wiggly. We're going to go in here because I can see some over here. Another thing to look for waterways is that they are at the they're at the bottom of valleys. So you can see that the land kind of slopes in here, and we see this waterway. So let's find one that is not mapped. Looks like somebody's already gotten some of it, but they haven't gotten all of it. Okay, so we're gonna map this stream here. So we are going to use this line tool up here, just like we did for roads. I'm going to click on it and then make lots of nodes following the shape of your waterway. And this is the most important part of waterways. So unlike buildings where we don't want our nodes to connect with other things, we really want connectivity here. So instead of just leaving this waterway hanging, I'm gonna click this node to join them together. And then I'm gonna double click to end it. So now we're going to tag it, and we have to decide if this is a stream or if this is a river. So the way to tell if it's a stream or if it's a river is to measure it with our scale bar here. So it looks like this is going to be less than 1.5 meters, which is the cutoff. So you could probably jump over this stream. So if it's less than 1.5 meters, we're going to call it a stream. Anything above that is a river. You'll notice these arrows here. These arrows are also important. We want to know which way the flow of the water is going. So we know, because this is an extension of this river, that the water is going to be flowing down in this direction. If it was not, if the river was supposed to be flowing this way, we could right click and then click these little arrow buttons here and click reverse, and see now the arrows point this way and the flow is going the opposite direction. But that's not the case here, so I'm going to reverse it back. The way to see flow is to look at the surrounding things. So this river was here first. So these people looked to where the river was going to meet with other things. So they saw that this river met here. That means they're probably flowing down towards the next point, or they probably looked down here to see the bigger river. And there's a good chance that all of the waterways in this task are going to at some point flow into this river. So if our waterway was over here, it's going to flow down in this direction towards the river here. Other waterways like this one will probably flow this way. This one probably flows this way, but ours flowed this way. And now we're going to talk about what happens when your road intersects with a waterway. So there are three main types: fords, bridges, and culverts. Fords are when the bridge or when the waterway and the road overlap, so there's not really any structure, the river just flows right over. Bridges are obviously highly structurized, and culverts are where there is a flat roadway, but a pipe or something like that flows underneath the road. So we have our waterway here, and let's say that we have a road that I'm going to make up. So here is a road, and I'm going to classify it as a road. So we'll just do minor unclassified road, and I'll delete this later. Okay, so it already is confused because it can see that it's overlapping with the waterway. So let's do a ford first. So when we're doing the ford, we want to make sure that there is a shared node between the waterway and the road because they overlap. So we will click to add a point and then make that point here. And then we are going to tag this as a ford, and that's all you need for a ford. Now I'm going to delete this so we can make a bridge. So for a bridge, you need to either create new nodes where the bridge starts and ends, like I showed earlier when I clicked on point and then made a point, or you can just drag a pre-existing node to the start of your bridge. So I've done that. I'm going to right click and click on these scissors. That's the split button. And then I'm going to right click on the other one, click the scissors, and hit split. So now I have this little section of road here. I want to make sure that it's still classified as a road, which it is. But then I am going to go down here in the tagging pane and click bridge. And now this shows up as a bridge. Now I'm going to show you how to do culverts. So we are going to delete this bridge and then just reconnect the waterway here, or the road here. So for culverts, it's really similar, except that instead of making that split in your roads, we're going to make the split in our waterway. So I'm going to add a new point here. I'm going to add a new point here. And then I'm going to split and split. So now that we have this little section here. And this time, I'm going to make sure it still says river. It does. And then structure, tunnel. So that is how to make a culvert. And that concludes how to map waterways.